Hello, and welcome to another Monday on the Grace-Filled Leader. Today's episode might be a little controversial or sensitive, I don't know. But I felt God calling me to speak on behalf of some of the leaders out there who have and do tend to care so much about their role in their team, yet it never seems like enough, and they're on the verge of throwing in the towel. But before we get into that, let's see our featured review. I love this one because while I generally think of my audience being made up of women, I know there are a few supportive men out there listening to the pod. This review is proof. This review comes from Steelerman John. John says, "Listening to Tanya's podcast is like having a conversation with an old friend. She's easy to listen to and supports her advice and statements with scripture." Thank you so much, John, for this affirmation. I so appreciate you and everyone who tunes into the show. Remember, folks, April is Review Party Month, so post your review on Apple Podcast, take a screenshot, and go over and post it in the Facebook community. You can find that at gracefilledleader.com/community. We'll drive for prizes at the end of the month, so let's get those reviews in. Welcome to the Grace-Filled Leader Podcast. Do you want better work-life balance? Do you get stuck in patterns of perfectionism and people-pleasing? Have you always been an overachiever, but never really feel good enough, no matter how much outward success you achieve? Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, leader, Christian life coach, and Jesus lover. For most of my life, I tried to find worthiness through achievement. But no matter how hard I worked or how much I achieved, I never felt like I was enough. I was left burned out, empty, and exhausted. I had no time or energy for myself or my family. I needed balance. I needed peace. I finally started to live like an unconditionally loved daughter of the King, saved by grace. This faith-led podcast will teach you self-care routines and practical leadership strategies to help you navigate life and leadership. If you're ready to stop people-pleasing and start living and leading God's way, this podcast is for you. Unbutton your blazers, sister friends. It's time to get after it. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to talk today from the perspective of a leader who cares too much, but feels a little bit invisible. She's a conglomerate of many leaders I've seen or heard from who've been so committed to their teams and to their role, yet sometimes their efforts go unnoticed. They're nearly at their breaking point in a work environment and a work culture that has changed so significantly in recent years. This is far different than most episodes, so thanks for your willingness to listen. This is not intended to reflect any specific individual. I have taken some creative liberties, if you will. But I would love to know if I'm way off base in my observations and assumptions, or if this resonates a little with any of my listeners. Please leave me a voice or written message at gracefilledleader.com/contact and let me know your thoughts. Letter from a leader. To my team, you are the reason I do what I do. My goal has always been to serve you, to advocate for you, and to edify you. We go through hard things, but we've done it together. I've made mistakes, and I likely will make a few more. But one thing is certain, I have always cared deeply, perhaps far too much. To the team member who truly cares about the work you are doing and the people you work with, you are actively engaged. You are committed to doing your best simply because it is the right thing to do. You exemplify integrity and seek to serve and build up others. You want to be a part of the solution, not just identify the problems. You appreciate acknowledgement for what you do, but don't depend on it because you find the intrinsic value in serving others well. You are gracious and kind, and you bring light into the room. You see and acknowledge the blessings surrounding you and offer support and encouragement even to me. While you should be getting the majority of my attention for all the wonderful things you do, for the amazing human being that you are, sadly, you often get a small fraction of my time. You demand little, and your commitment must seem taken for granted when my energy so often goes toward putting out fires and responding to those who are less grateful. You deserve far more than I give. Know this, you keep me coming through the door. In your eyes, I am reminded of my purpose, my why. Thank you for being the reason that I lead. To the team member who's going through the motions and checking all the boxes, you do a good job, but you are happy to do the minimum required. You used to demonstrate more passion for the work and commitment to the team, but you've lost that spark. You accept your circumstances, but you seldom acknowledge what you have to be grateful for. You are generally pleasant, yet complacent. You have the power to influence, but you choose the path of least resistance. I so desperately want to see you reclaim your passion and use it to influence those around you. I see you and your potential. I'm not sure how much you see me and the degree to which I care. There are so many like you. It's difficult to know how to inspire and ignite when it seems like trying to boil the ocean. I just need a little sign that you want to be an agent of positive change. When you give even a little, I want to give so much more in return. I want to see you move from complacent to committed, from indifferent to invested. Link arms with me and we can do such great things. To the team member who is actively disengaged, my heart feels so much sorrow for you. Instead of seeing what is good, you actively look for what is wrong, what is missing, what is lacking. You choose assumption over understanding. I see so many gifts and talents buried underneath anger, resentment, entitlement, and dissatisfaction. I've worked so hard to help you see the blessings, yet you choose instead to see the barriers. I spend most of my time and energy trying to appease and appeal to you, yet the efforts seem to go unnoticed or they never measure up to the expectation. You have so much power to influence for good, yet you choose instead to propagate negativity. Do you have any idea the damage you are doing? How sad I am for you that you choose to create this existence for yourself. You can't even see it. You can't even see how much I care, even when you don't. When you speak condemnation, I silently pray with conviction. I pray that you might know a better way, that you might find the peace that comes from a heart of gratitude. I'm tired now of trying so hard. In a desperate effort to rescue you and gain your approval, I have failed to nourish those who aren't so lost. It's time to turn my attention. I have watered seeds that may never sprout, rather than pouring into those who seek the sun and have so much fruit to bear. I'm tired from my efforts, but I will never cease to care. If only you knew. If only you knew. Sincerely, the leader who cares too much. I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact. and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.